the engine just blew up, and fire shot out the back of the hood all the way over the windshield.
The van started smoking on Shea Boulevard near Fountain Hills. By the time James Parker got the driver's attention to pull over, he thought it was too late.
It was really, really scary. We were really lucky.
Margaret Wilson was inside the van with her coworker and 3 mentally handicapped adults.
2 of our guys got out with no problem, and our third guy, who was in the very back of the van, just sat there and looked at us.
Margaret desperately tried to urge the third man out of the van, but he wouldn't budge. Right about this time, James had run up on the van, and not a second too soon. The fire was now creeping towards the back seat.
I don't know what it was, but I couldn't let that guy back there. I couldn't. I jumped in that car and got him and turned him to the side where I could get my arms up underneath his arms. And I pulled him over the seat and over the seat belt. And I was in my socks, and I fell out of the van. And when I fell out of the van, I fell on the rocks, but I pulled him on top of me.
If it hadn't been for Mr. Parker, I'm sure we never would have got out in time.
Margaret emailed CBS 5 and asked to pay it forward. This would be the first time she had seen or spoken to James since that night.
Here's the $500. Let's go pay it forward.
All right.
Hey, how are
Hi.
ya?
Remember me from our burning van?
Oh, I sure do. You're so sweet. I'm glad. How are you?
At this point in the story, we witnessed a pay it forward first. James was so eager for everyone to meet his family and go over what happened that night. It was a good 5 minutes before Margaret even got to explain why we were now in his living room.
Well, to thank you, I contacted CBS 5. I wrote them this letter. It says, with no thought to his personal safety, James alerted my coworker and myself, who were returning from the fireworks at Fort McNell. And in order to pay it forward, CBS 5 has given me $500 to give to you. It nowhere near pays for the live safe, but hopefully it's a token.
Well, that's really, I thank you very much.
James says if he hadn't stopped to help and later found out that someone had died inside that van,
And if I had to do it over, ma'am, I'd be there trying to get you out of there.
he couldn't have looked himself in the mirror.
It's just the way I am.
Now he can look and see a brave man staring right back.
I had to jump in there and get him.
Peter Bush,
I'm really so glad that nothing happened to you folks.
CBS 5 News.